There's something strangely impressive about how quietly people can disappear now. No confrontation, no explanation, no visible damage, just silence. You know how it feels to see a notification light up your phone. A name you recognize, a moment of anticipation, and then nothing follows. You know how it feels to reread the last message you sent, to wonder if it was too much, too little, too honest. You know how it feels to feel close to someone you've never met. A steady exchange of words, shared confessions typed at night. Parasocial warmth that feels real until it vanishes. You know how it feels when an algorithm keeps showing you reminders. Suggested friends, memories, people you may know. As if the system remembers what the person chose to forget. And you know the pressure underneath it all. The sense that you must always be available, always pleasant, always easy to leave. This is the core archetype of our time. The digitally overconnected, emotionally underfed self. You are reachable everywhere, yet held nowhere. Ghosting didn't come from cruelty alone. It came from convenience, from speed, from a world where exit requires less effort than explanation. The more our devices sync, the more we seem to drift apart. Somewhere along the line, vanishing became way easier than being real. Silence became safer than truth. And connection became something that could vanish without leaving a trace. The question isn't why people ghost. The real question is what kind of inner world makes disappearing feel reasonable. If connection can end without explanation, what does that teach your nervous system? Ghosting thrives in delayed space. Texting removes immediacy. No eye contact. No tone to manage. No reaction to witness. From a nervous system perspective, real-time interaction activates social risk circuits. The amygdala tracks threat. The body prepares for response. Asynchronous communication lowers that load. You can step away, pause, or even disappear. On the surface, this looks like boundary setting, autonomy, and emotional self-protection. Beneath it, it often feels like avoidance dressed as calm. A relief followed by unease. The deeper cost when avoidance becomes regulation, emotional capacity shrinks. Discomfort feels intolerable. Repair feels impossible. The flame is reduced to a pilot light. Safe. Controlled. Unable to warm anything fully. Ghosting is easier in environments built on reward, not repair. Messages, likes, matches, they trigger dopamine. Small bursts of anticipation. Repair requires something else. Time, effort, and emotional exposure. Platforms reward engagement, not closure. There's no dopamine for difficult conversations. No metric for emotional responsibility. Outwardly, this looks like abundance. Plenty of options. Endless next possibilities. Internally, it often feels disposable. Connections feel replaceable before they deepen. The hidden consequence. The nervous system learns that disengagement is relief. That withdrawal is regulation. The warmth appears briefly, then fades, leaving the body colder each time. Ghosting doesn't happen in a vacuum. It happens in overwhelmed systems. Attention research shows that overstimulation reduces emotional integration. When the mind is fragmented, attachment weakens. You can't stay with discomfort if you're constantly pulled elsewhere. Another message, another feed, another option. On the outside, you appear socially active, connected, responsive. Inside, feelings don't settle long enough to root. Attachment remains shallow, easily severed. The cost deepens quietly. Closeness begins to feel like an obligation. Distance feels like relief. The fire flickers. Enough to see the other person. Not enough to stay. Ghosting is also a byproduct of performance. Digital spaces encourage presentation with carefully chosen words. When connection is built on curation, misalignment feels dangerous. What if the real you disappoints? What if confrontation reveals something unflattering? So instead of risk, we retreat. Instead of honesty, disappearance. On the surface, this looks composed, drama-free, mature. Underneath, it feels unresolved, stories left unfinished. Tension stored in the body. The final cost is that the system learns that safety comes from vanishing, and presence begins to feel like exposure. Ghosting leaves no ceremony, no shared meaning, no ending. Modern reporting on loneliness shows a steady rise in people feeling unseen, even while constantly communicating. Connection exists. Anchors do not. Research on attention shows how fragmentation erodes emotional continuity. Feelings are interrupted before they can resolve. Burnout narratives now sound familiar. Emotionally tired, socially cautious, relationally guarded. The loss isn't dramatic, it's cumulative. You grieve conversations that never finished, versions of yourself that never got closure, trust that learned to stay tentative, staying pleasant while withholding truth, feeling rejected without knowing why, confusing silence with self-blame, preferring low-intensity connections that can't hurt deeply, feeling lonely in spaces full of interaction. The grief is quiet. It lives in unanswered questions. The more we connect online, the more we lose touch with reality. Healing here isn't about forcing explanations or demanding closure from people who cannot offer it. It's about repairing the relationship between attention and safety. Attention is not neutral. It tells the nervous system what matters and who matters. When attention is constantly split, safety erodes. The body stays alert, waiting for disappearance. Reclaiming begins with choice. Not withdrawal, but with discernment. Conversation slow. Imperfect repairs what silence fractures. Not every relationship deserves access, but some deserve honesty. This is not about purity, it's about pacing. Connection and solitude. Technology and boundaries. Responsiveness and rest. Nervous system repair happens gradually, through fewer connections held with more care. No grand transformations, no forced forgiveness. Just the quiet rebuilding of trust, between attention and presence, between self and other. Ghosting isn't just something people do. It's something systems make easy. It shapes how we expect endings, how we brace for loss, how cautiously we open. You were never meant to live at the speed of the feed. You're allowed to protect your attention and stay human. If this felt familiar, like and share with someone who might recognize themselves here. Subscribe and hit the notification bell to continue exploring attention, presence, and real human engagement, so you never have to navigate this alone. This isn't about fixing you. It's about slowly, quietly reclaiming yourself.